Hi, I'm Machiavelli, and I'd still wreck Thorin at Quake, and I'm welcoming you to Thorin's YouTube channel.
Right, I'm here for another one of my Reflections interviews, and this one is going to be with SombrA, who is an old school Quake player. He was in Quake 2, probably better known in Quake 3, and actually even played in Painkiller on the World Tour, if people don't know. So, okay, SombrA, I will say at the beginning of this interview, a lot of the information from the old days it's not like just going to a Wikipedia like you can do with modern esports games, just look up all the results and see everything. Like, you could probably find all this info, but it would take a long, long time. And also, a lot of it's just not on the internet anymore. Like, a lot of the websites died. You have to use the old archive.org and all those websites. So this is going to be an interview where hopefully the guest is going to fill me in on more of the details here that I don't always have myself. But let's start in this place, because what I want to talk about, since you're an old school Quake player from the early days, right? A lot of people don't understand SombrA. In the early days, when people were going to like professional tournaments, I often describe it as, unless you are like a top 3 player, usually it's just like you're just really good at the game. You're not really professional in the sense that it's like a full-time job. Obviously, back then, most people didn't even have actual proper sponsorship. You had to hope there was maybe a qualifier with a LAN cafe or something. How did you actually, in your career, how did you get to the tournaments? How did you manage to provide? Was it all from prize money? Did you have your own money or a job or something? How did you get by in these days?
Yeah, during these days, well, as you said, it was very hard to go to the LANs or have money for that. So what we did here in Spain, we created the team, the Dreams and Magic. You know, it's with Akiles, myself, Koba, and the other ones, Hadex, and basically we won everything here in Spain. So this give us the opportunity to go to sponsors very, very low, like Cyber Coffees or something like this, that we were changing, going to the Cyber Coffee to play there and interact with the kids and show the game and these things. In exchange, they were paying us the trips to the CPL qualifiers or whatever. So that's what's the way. So picking the best in Spain, winning everything, and then go to the sponsors. That's the way we did in the past.
Are you someone where, when you got good in Quake 3, were you already known from Quake 2 in the scene? Like, did you have some status? Could you already get, like, practice partners in the tournaments and stuff? Or was Quake 3 the game where you actually became well-known?
Well, we started in Quake 2, when we did pretty well in some online games, but, well, the connection in Spain was very bad. We played against Fokins, Unreal, that was UK team, and MTW, and we did pretty well. So we have more or less a respectable name. And in Quake 3, we get more level. So we started talking about with phone companies, where we were going with the PCs to the ESP to play from there to get pin 40, 16 in order to play the Clan Base Euro Cup and the Open Cup, and we qualify, and we did pretty well online. So that's what we did during these days, and we were known. And also, when we attended our first LAN ever, well, that was CPL Cologne in 2002, we won our grab, and then we went to the brackets. We lost against Vikings, a very good team from
Danish team, yeah,
Danish team, very good.
Yes.
We lost very close in DM14, and then we go to lower bracket where we won against Iron Fist. That was before
UK team, yeah.
The 4 kings with Borb and Deus, and
top players.
Top players. And then we faced the Ice Climbers
of course. These are all the best teams, if people don't know. Like Ice Climbers, I assume in the final it must have been like Ice Climbers versus Vikings or something, right? These are the best teams in Europe.
Yeah, it was the best team probably in the world. And we lose very close. We lost on OSP DM5 by 3 frags, and USP DM6 by 10. But the OSP DM5 was very, very close. So at this time, we showed that in LAN, we gained respect from the community. Even Toxic and Goffer and Phantom, they come to us, hey guys, very well done. So this was the start of doing some magic, and Achilles, myself, Hadex, and Kova to start have the possibility to play with them more often.
If people don't know the time period you're talking about, it was around exactly this time period when the teammate you're talking about, Achilles, actually had an epic result where he managed to finish second at the World Cyber Games, even though, if people don't know, that was actually a big shock. Like at the time, people would expect Russian players, American players, Swedish players. These were the players that used to be the top notch. Was that a big deal for Spanish Quake, that a Quake player had this massive result?
Yeah, we spent like 10 years training together to this moment, before Achilles was going to the World Cyber Games. He qualifies, and Logan, a very good dueler from Spain, qualified too, because he won me in the qualifiers. So we know that Achilles was capable to win against anyone, so was just going to Korea and have the day and be calm. And he did it. So, but was a lot of work. I was a lot of hours before that we trained. We saw the Coolers demo, 04 demo, Socrates demos, how they move, what the roads were doing in the maps, training Achilles for that. So finally, it was before and after for the Spanish Quake and the Spanish community that Achilles, and also Achilles they place second in the 2-against-2.
Right. Sorry, the question I was going to ask was this. Another thing that I think was really misunderstood back in the day when we were talking about like trying to be good in esports in Quake is I was told from a lot of the players, it's not literally just how good you are at Quake, like how good your real good aim is. They said a lot of being good was actually politics. It was like if you could get the right practice partners, because really it was about knowing how the top, like the sort of meta of how the top players play and how they run the maps, etc. And so they said a lot of it was actually about like you had to sort of like be friends with the right player or not trash talk so you get in with the right group. So it sounds like having this group here must have been very beneficial to you personally.
Yeah, it was a game changer for us, since CPL Cologne, that they respect us, because you need to gain respect in this community, and they started to practice with us. After this, we start practice with Ice Climbers, also CPL London, we draw with Scred Commando, with SK, and at times where they were the best, Stellam, Slinger, Neok, and Thief. We draw in the groups, we won in DM7 in LAN, so they asked us for training, so our level was going up all the time. So it's a key in order to get better player, to have the possibility to train with the best,
When you were saying earlier about like some of the internet issues, I think that's something a lot of people also maybe don't know in the modern day, because obviously if you go to almost any major European country now, they're going to have pretty good internet. In fact, there's even obviously some countries in Eastern Europe probably would shock people. I think it's like Lithuania or something, as like everyone has like great internet for free or some shit. So if people don't know, back in the day, as far as I remember, I know Spain, Portugal, places like Poland, like the internet there, it was like, it wasn't even just the internet connection. It was like internally the internet wasn't great and it was expensive, but wasn't part of the issue something like, it's if you tried to play it in other countries, like the routing to those countries was always like terrible, right? And you would have, so even if the ping looked okay, like you had 70 ping, the reality is it might be like dropping packets or it might be like lag spikes or something. Was it along these lines for you?
Yeah, was very hard for us. Ping 70 on that day was a dream. We were playing with ping 120, the Euro Cup. So if the enemy was here, the railgun should be pointing here in order to do
you lead it ahead of him,
the prediction rail. So we did pretty well, and inside the Spain also was very bad. We were playing with ping 80, and then when we train in this way, when we arrived to a LAN, was a dream for us, Wow, this is so fast, it is so easy. So we had the possibility after, as I said, the CPL London and the CPL Cologne to do boot camps with the best players in the world, like Boo or Lexer or Gelsak or Lakerman or If22, that was a very good player from Holland. So our level was a game changer, as I say, for us, this step, But was hard to achieve, a lot of effort, a lot of time. A lot of us lost girlfriends in the way because our dedication was full. We were training like 8-10 hours every day to achieve our dream that was becoming one of the best teams in the world. So more or less, our best results were 5th place in the CPL Cologne 2002, almost facing Ice Climbers, and well, of course, Achilles and the 2nd place in World Cyber Games and duel and 2v2.
Did you think of yourself as more of a team player, or were you more of a dueler? What was your favorite?
Well, I always have been a dueler. I won the Spanish tournament 4 times against Achilles. During these times, and I have attended 2 QuakeCons of Quake 3 and 4 ESWC, Quake 3 and also Quake 4, and I have been in 1 World Cyber Games where I lost to Socrates in 11-9 in Tournament 2 to qualify for the playoffs. So I know that I had the skill, but well, I had a very, very big shadow in front of me that was Achilles, that was not allowing me to go to more international tournaments. But also, well, I did pretty well in tournaments online and beating people like Cooler or Cypher or another ones that at the moment was not the normal that I beat them, but I achieved to win some games. So for me, that was amazing, no? So yeah, I'm more or less dual player, and I love the TDM, the all times TDM, the 4 against 4 with tactics and everything. But yeah, I'm totally a dueler.
Since, as you say, you got the chance to practice and boot camp with a lot of big famous names, can you give us, like, one thing I think would be cool is, I don't necessarily want like story, like funny anecdote. I more mean like, can you just tell us something about like the way that top players think? Like, how do they practice? What's their mindset for how to battle the enemy? Did you ever learn anything interesting from these big names?
Well, I learned a lot from Lexer, the way he was, the mindset he has for to play. I remember that we do a bootcamp here in Barcelona where we invite him, Abu and Galsak. We were playing Painkiller at the time, so we go to the beach to eat some rice and to show them the beautiful Barcelona, and I was asking Lexer because he is a very funny guy, how you concentrate, what you thinking, and you said, I don't think anything, SombrA, I'm myself, so I don't care about who is in front of me, I do my game. So this changed for me the thinking, because when you see in the crosshair the enemy Cooler, your mind is changing. You have fear. You play more back. You go back. Yes. You don't. And this click in the mind from Lexer helped me a lot to go to the matches against very, very top players in another way. So these little things, and also Boo with his tricks and with his mentality, on his dedication. And also, of course, we did another bootcamp in Coventry with Garpy, and now they are the Mitro guys, but at the time, I don't remember the Dignitas, maybe.
That might be it, yeah.
Yeah, we did a bootcamp in Quake 4. I learned a lot from Garpy. He's a wonderful guy,
sure.
Magnificent human. So he helped us a lot, and always saying, no, somebody, you need to go this way, and this switching weapon here, you need to finalize the frag and then come back to. So we learn a lot from them. So there's a beautiful people in the Quake community.
As you pointed out, you also did play in Painkiller, because obviously at one point in time that was the big like prize money game to play, and they had the CPL World Tour in 2005. And I always describe it's actually very simple if you're a modern day fan and you don't know what this tour looked like. It was basically Formula One. You had to stop every month in a different country, and then you went, except you had a big grand finals, whereas obviously Formula One's just a league. So it was basically like that. So I often describe it. I actually thought it was a very interesting format to follow as a fan. But here's my question though, SombrA. A lot of people said the problem with Painkiller Painkiller was it actually was quite a good viewing experience, like a 1v1 game. Like if you like, CPM or Quake World, it is pretty, fast paced, lots of action, looks skilled. But I was told by some of the players who came from Quake that the game itself isn't as fun to play though. Like it's got a lot of flaws in it as a game, and like lock elements, like the fucking flaming stake thing you could shoot at people when they spawn. Whereas obviously in Quake, like there's no starting weapon that just kills the guy immediately. What did you think of this? What was it actually like to play Painkiller the game? Did you like it?
Well, I didn't like it, I agree with these comments. But at that time, there was no Quake tournament, so Painkiller has a huge money and was duel mode. Maybe it was too fast for us, because we didn't play CPMA, always USP. So Achilles did more or less well. I remember he placed it, top 20 in CPL Barcelona, but was so far away from the funny you get from Quake. So we played only for keep in the competition and try to get some money in order for the future Quakes or whatever. But was a transition for us, Painkiller. We didn't like it like Quake, when we stopped training. I remember training for 6 hours TDM in order to prepare some big LAN. And when we finish, we go play CTF for fun, This was not happening in Painkiller, of course.
I heard that actually, what I said earlier about how in Quake in general, it was about knowing the right practice partners. I heard it was even worse in Painkiller though, because this was the game where there were obviously the only people who were good who were playing it were people who were at the tour. So you had to kind of know your fellow competitors and get them to play with you. It sounds like you did though. Like you said, you had like Gillisack and Voon. These were top players that you were able to get boot camp time with, right? How would they actually practice with you? Because I've heard actually some top players in duel games, they don't just try and practice the best players. Sometimes they'll practice a player they think's worse because like maybe I've heard Toxic, for example, famously used to just practice like no-namers in Sweden. He would make a server and then people would join and just play duels against them. So what was it actually like if you played against a top player? Did they try their hardest to win the duel? Did they try like a tactic out? What's the practice mode like for these people?
Well, they come to Barcelona because at that time, after our big result from Achilles and also in TDM and Quake 3 and all of this, we had a very huge sponsor here. So the sponsor told us to bring these guys there. We paid everything to them for Lexer that was competing in Painkiller and Boo and Galsag and Ztrider. And yeah, we paid everything in order to have them to come train with us in order to improve. So being honest, they come because we were invited, and also it was a good opportunity to train with a different style play, because they were used to play very fast. And I remember Boo saying that we play, of course, not the same the level, but like Fatality, it was coming from Quake 3, and he was moving more or less like Quake 3 players. So for him, even he was destroying us, of course, in all the games. But he said that was good because the movement was different from Galsagos Rider that were CPM gods, So the good thing for them was playing with us that we. Different style opponent, more Ahmed oriented and more staying in the red armor or mega areas to defend it, so not flying around all the time. So yeah.
Was Vu just some sort of like was Painkiller just a perfect game for this guy? It just seemed like he just naturally was always good at it, right? He was I think, like, if people don't know, on the world tour, I think the worst place he ever had was like he came like third once or something. Like it was like unreal how good this guy was at this game, right?
Yeah, he was amazing. Was incredible, and if you had the opportunity to see him in live, it was so crazy, And I was remember that I had no time to even look what he was doing, and he was doing, the rocket, then the switch, and then
he was really fast. Yeah,
the grenade with the stake, and he was
he had all the tricks in the air.
Yeah, all the tricks in the air, and well, the timing was perfect. He was flying around, red armor, stacked, whatever. It was amazing. I didn't saw anything like him in all my life in a FPS game.
What about Ztrider? Because if people don't know, this is the Swedish player who not only on this Painkiller World Tour like got really good by the time the tour was coming to the end. He like was in a top placing in one of the stops. But more importantly, years later he came along in Quake 4 and was even good in that game. Like he even beat Toxic when he was supposed to be like unbeatable. Right? I've heard this guy was like some sort of like just raw natural talent. Like people said he wasn't even that dedicated as a player, but like it seemed like he was an amazing player. Who was this guy?
Yeah, he was amazing. He appeared in Painkiller, and then he stayed for a bit in Quake 4, and even if the movement was changing because Quake 4 was more crouch sliding,
Yes.
he adapted very well, and he was a beast. I remember I don't remember the year, but I saw him in a QuakeCon where we attended, and Achilles, Kova, and myself, and yeah, he did pretty well. He was one of the favorites, So beating Toxic was nothing more to say, But yeah, it was amazing.
When we got to the period, because it's after Quake 4, when unfortunately like Quake type games sort of went away as esports until maybe you could say like IEM did Quake 3 a few years after that, like end of the 2000s. So was this the time period where, have you always been playing Duel the whole time? Have you always been playing Quake? Was there ever a time you took time out of the game and went away for a few years?
Well, to be honest, I don't remember very clear because I'm old now. I'm talking about 15 years or 18 years. So I don't remember exactly. I know that I continue playing Duel because there was a Quake 3 mode like OSP, but that was the lag and the ping was very feeling like you were playing in LAN.
Oh, okay.
So I remember that we did several tournaments online there, and yeah, I keep playing. Even was maybe the best results that I did in my whole career in Duel was on that mod. Yeah, I keep playing for a while during these times. Yeah.
Okay, so one thing, and if anyone's an old school player and they're watching this interview, I'm guessing they know this topic was going to come up at some point in time. But unfortunately, you did have a scandal in your career where basically it was in Quake Live, right? You got banned for cheating. So, was it Quake 3?
Yeah, it was Quake 3 on that mod.
Oh, okay. Right. Can you explain to me what were the circumstances of this?
Yeah. What happened here at that moment maybe was, as I said, in the best shape of my whole career. All my history. Like for 12 years playing, showing in every LAN. So at that time, I was playing and training with Sparty and Baxting and also Cooler. So I have the logs of Cooler asking me. It's funny, asking me to train. And I'm a very good friend of Cypher. So at the time,
this was just before Quake Live then, because that was the time period where like Cypher and Sparty were in Quake 3. So we're talking like 2008 type period time, right?
Yeah, 2008. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. This mode was before Quake Live. Yeah,
there
correct.
Sorry,
my timings are a bit.
That's all right.
So yeah, at the time, I was training with these guys and doing pretty well, So there was a guy that was called Firebot, this guy was almost beating everyone. So I was surprised. Sparty was surprised. Everyone was surprised. But this guy looks fine. So what happened in here is that I played some tournaments before the one that they got banned and the scandal. So I remember that I won the tournament before, but it was online tournament. I don't know, the Quake or whatever, just for fun. And we suspect that he was using wallhack, So I did a mistake in that tournament. So this tournament was with a barrel of beer for the winner, so it was nothing.
So it was a fun tournament, basically. It wasn't like a pro tournament.
It was a fun tournament. So I did a mistake that, I'm going to install a wallhack to catch the guy so I can prove that he's using wallhack, okay? So I installed the wallhack. So I used wallhack on that game. So yeah, in the game, I won 11-10 to that guy using wallhack, At that time, as I say, my level was very, very high. So I remember situations on that game that was in CDTN. So when he was behind the wall and I was on the other side, and he stopped and started dancing, like saying, "I see you and I know that you are seeing me," So, okay, what happened here is that when I finished the game, I won by one frag, and I was not used to check my screenshots because I never used it that kind of shit, So what I did is pick the pictures or the screenshots from the folder and send it to the mail, even before checking it, because in my mind I was not used to use the wall hack. So normally what I do is I finish the game, I go to the folder, the Quake 3 folder, and I pick the files and I send to the mail, and okay.
If people don't know, back in the day when you would play like a match in like clan-based, for example, you had to put like a screenshot of the score at the end and stuff like that, right? Just to prove that like you actually played the match or something, right?
Yeah. Right. And then on that the screenshot were showing a radar that I didn't use the radar in the game because I didn't know how it works or whatever. So I used only the wall hack. But I sent the screenshot with the wall hack, and then all the community come over me.
Oh, of course.
So I want to say I want to apologize to everyone because I did one mistake in my life. I want to say that Quake for me has been my life. I dedicated 15 years, even more, to Quake, and I did a mistake, and it's very sad for me. Even if this was 2008. Looks like I become the best cheater or the greatest cheater in the Quake history, So because when this happened, I totally quit. This was like if my father died, I was very sad. I had personal problems with myself. Because all my life fighting to go to the moment, and for one idiot that was using wallhack, I did a mistake, and all my career was go to the trash. After this, the people, they say that I had banned twice, and the people started joining the servers with cheats with the nick SombrA, and they got banned.
Right. And got out of control and became a thing, basically, right?
Yeah, and then it's funny that even in Overwatch there is a character that is SombrA that is hacker. So this is so sick.
Yeah,
I want my fee. I want my fee.
Okay.
So I want to apologize to everyone, but I want to say that very clear that I only used wallhack on that game, and never I use it before and after. I just quit, and it's hard because I need to change my nickname because I was just joining 3 years when Quake Champions go live. When was the alpha version of the Quake Champions. I got contacted with I remember Slasher, that was more or less the Discord manager, the channel. Yeah. And he told me that I need to play. I asked him if I can play in the first tournament ever on Quake Champions. And he told me that they spoke with Saint Error, or I don't know. And they told me that you need to use SombrA as nick if you want to play in order to people know who you are.
Yeah, okay.
I said, okay. The funny thing is that I placed fourth in that first Quake Champions tournament ever. It's an alpha, so it's not possible that there's anything. So I beat Pikawa, I remember, and I lost in semifinals with Fad, was a very top player. But this disappeared. This nothing happened to the people. So the people were saying that I was streaming this tournament, so you have it in my stream. So people saying that I was using a cheat that was hiding in the stream. I don't know. It's like it's sick, no? So I understand the people. The people's this SombrA guy is Spanish. He's beating everyone. Okay, he's a cheater. He did this thing. No one till now, 15 years after, come to me and ask, "Hey, SombrA, what happened?" And just you, Thorin. So very appreciated that you
Yeah, no problem.
you dedicate to me the time to explain. So yeah, no one just pointing at me that I had banned 10 times and I'm the best cheater in the world. When my career has been land-proof for a lot of years. I have been training with pro players. I slept in Garpi's house with his wives and his kids. So it's very sad for me. But the reason that I'm doing this interview that is more in a personal way. I needed to say the truth, to apologize to the Quake community, and of course for the Spanish people that I make this mistake, and I apologize, and to be clear, that was only that game, because 15 years after Thorin, I don't care about coming here and I say, yeah, I used it my whole life. I don't care about what you say, but that's not true, So the truth was I use it, and to be clear, that Firebot was using wallhack, of course. But the funny thing is that he got the victim and I become the murderer. It's like the killer. It's like it was a total mistake. And also I was young. When the Poisonous reality, I was trying to say, hey, this is not true. My life was going to the toilet. Quake was my life, 24/7. So
I mean, if people don't know, I've got a question along those lines. Especially back in these days when you don't win much money and it's not you don't become famous like outside of the internet for being good at a game. A lot of people, to be good at the game is their identity. It's who they think of themselves as. Like, I am a good Quake player. That's why they practice. Like, it's a big deal, right? I imagine it felt like you couldn't be yourself anymore.
Yeah, it was like I died. So. Yeah, there is no money involved. This tournament was, the prize pool was a barrel of beer. I don't like the beer. so it was more your identity, the respect. The arriving from the university and have the opportunity to do your hobby and play with the top duelers in the world, and is your name. So that was everything on these days. So yeah, for me it was very, very important, and it was very hard for me these days where I remember that we were hard. So I quit totally, and yeah. Afterwards,
Did you get the vibe? Because I know this is a thing. Look, one of the reasons I know why people get really irritated by cheaters is just because they're thinking of their own personal experience where they played against a cheater, so they're like triggered, thinking of memories of that, right? But one thing I find a bit unusual about this scenario is, were people basically almost suggesting that you were always using cheats and that you were even using them on the lands or something? Because as you say, you went to a number of the big international lands, whereas as far as I know, you would hope it's not possible to cheat, right?
No, it's not possible, of course. But people start trash talking about everything, saying that I had special configs for the lands, and more of the people don't know who I am or what I did, So they just come there and say, yeah, I met this guy, this SombrA guy. He's a very low skill. He was doing circles, shooting. Come on, guys, I won everything in Spain during 12 years, and I won one of the best duelers in the world 4 times. That is Akiles, that won Cooler, that won Socrates, that won Python, I have beating Secret Commando in LAN, Stellan Slinger, I lost by 3 frags against Ice Climber, probably the best team all times in
Sure.
Quake 3 Arena. So I was there. So yeah, people likes to trash talk and inventing things and doing the shit more bigger. So as I said, I didn't have the opportunity to explain what I did and what happened exactly till now. No, even in today's, and I'm playing Quake Champions. I join a server and they start saying, yeah, SombrA the cheater and SombrA, because yeah, it's very hard to clean my name. So this interview and saying that is basically for myself. I needed to take out this shit, apologize. That is very important, and be clean inside, and be able to use my nickname again with no remorse, So if I join now a server and they keep saying, will be not the same for me, I will just don't care. But till now, it's affecting me, So it's heavy. It's heavy.
What do you actually think? In these scenarios, is there a way that someone, because here's the problem, right? Think about society itself. If someone commits a real world crime, like obviously example, I'll give a ridiculous one. If they robbed a bank, right? In real life, they would go to prison, they'd go there for a few years, but famously, when they get released again and they come back to real life, actually what you're supposed to say in modern society is they paid their debt, they took their punishment, and now you're actually supposed to forget about the fact they did the robbery and let them live their life again, right? Do you get the feeling in esports? I mean, it is a lot of young people. It is on the internet. Do you get the feeling there's no second chances?
There is no second chance, This is a good example of what you said, no? Someone kills someone and go to the jail, and 20 years after, is okay. So in Quake or in esports, when you do a mistake I'm not agree with the people that cheat several times. And also I want to say one thing there is that Base, for example, has been banned several times, and he's playing the Quake Pro League. What is different against me? And you see it objective time in objective way. I used wallhack in 2008 in one game, and there is nothing else. And this guy got back banned 2 times, also Agent, also Danchev, also everyone. So they keep playing and no one says anything. So I'm sure that if I'm signing up for the global qualifiers with Nick SombrA, maybe they come to me and say, hey, maybe you are not allowed or whatever. I don't know, but it's sick. So why they treat me that way, and other back banned cheaters are still playing and winning money for the game, and everything is fine? They say, they are land-proof. I am land-proof. I won the Spanish tournament 2 months ago here in Spain of Quake Champions against Macros and Akiles and all the time, guys. So it looks like, when in the society in esports, they put me, the ticket of cheater, the best cheater in the world, and that's it. Even Rafa is talking about me sometimes in his streams, this SombrA cheater shit,
Right.
He didn't know. He don't know about me. I was winning tournaments when he was no one. I remember him with 04 starting to play, and 04 was teaching him in one
Sure.
Quake. I was here competing. So that... I respect Rafa, of course. He's one of the best Quake players in all times. But before talking about something, you are someone that is important to the Quake community. Okay, this SombrA guy maybe did a mistake, but people talk to me like I'm a very bad person or very assassin, or like them, So it's very difficult to handle, and replying to your question, this in esports looks like it's forever, but depending from where if you are Russian or American, it's fine. But if you are from Spain or France, so you are forever. So I don't know how to handle it to fix it, but yeah.
If you still play now and you still play Quake Champions, is it like, are you actually just playing for fun? Do you try to be a good player again? Have you ever actually, like you said that as it was hypothetical, maybe they wouldn't let you play the tournament. Do they think if you actually got good enough and you were in a qualification position, do you think you would get blocked by in this case, the game dev, like Ztrider or something? Would they block you from playing, do you think? Would you be allowed to play? What's the situation for you?
Well, I don't know. I keep playing. I'm 41 years old, it's not like I was 20 or 30, but I'm getting very, very good results, and I'm pretty nice elo in the game, and also I'm playing duels and playing 2v2, and I try to play with another nickname in the qualifiers, so I lost in the second round, so I'm trying to improve. I don't know if they will allow me if I qualify, they will allow me to go to the QPL or something. Also, being realistic, I'm a bit far away from the top players, but I think I still have the skill, but I don't have the opportunity to train with them, because most of them will not play with me because I'm a cheater, you know. So it's very difficult to some players that still know me, like Garpy, for example. I talk with him not every week, but hey mate, how are you? I played with him and also Sparty because they know me before that, you know. So also I play with Maxter and these guys that is from Argentina. So we had a good feeling, but I don't have the possibility to play with the others. So it's difficult to me right now to get the top duel level. So, but I keep playing, you know. I keep going to the qualifiers, and in the next I will sign up with as SombrA. You know, after this interview, I will sign up as SombrA and see what happens. If they ban me, but what I can say, what I can do.
Since you played Quake 2, Quake 3, Quake 4, Painkiller, Quake, what do you think of Quake Champions? It's obviously a different game. If people are familiar with the series, the difference is before Quake was, even if you have a different model, you know, like obviously like you could be like Tank or I could be the Ranger guy. Realistically, they're all the same in Quake 3. Like it's just a skin. But in Quake Champions, it is like, you know, MOBA. It's like Valorant. Like they actually are different characters that have different abilities. So to me, that's. I mean, I was actually shocked when they made this change in Quake. What have you thought of the game?
Well, at the beginning was very strange, you know, doing vomits with your character and something like this was wow. This is, I don't like this because, you know, I remember playing with the option with no abilities, you know, like Quake 3. The feeling is more or less like Quake 3, depending on Quake 4, depending on the chart that you're playing. But during the years, I think it's a very good game. I like it very much. Of course, it's not as good as Quake 3 Arena, because for me it's, you know, the Bible. But I think it's a pretty nice game, you know. But right now it's very, you know, it's elitistic, you know. There is a lot of players that are not in the QPL that maybe can have the chance to play, I don't know, a second division or a regional qualifiers to move more the community, you know. So you have leagues that you can promote, and there is a lot of people playing in the middle level, you know, mid-top level, that are not playing because they have nothing to play, you know. When you go to the qualifiers, you have Garpy, you have Baxter, you have these people that you have almost no chance. So yeah, the game itself is good. I think the structure of the esports competition can be better, I think, in order to move the community and have more active players. That because there are people that play for compete, not for the like in the game. So I think with another structure, maybe they can have more players and also more people that play the game.
Obviously, one other thing that has been different in Quake Live is Quake Live has been around during the time period where we've had these years where everyone had to play on the internet. We couldn't have LANs anymore. We couldn't have the big tournaments that we all were used to. What have you thought about like online play in the modern day? Because if people don't know, like after the first 2000s sort of years, all competition was online. It was all about you winning a qualifier to go to the LAN. Whereas I saw even like they had to have QPL seasons online during the last few years. So how do you think the game plays online? Like is the code good, netcode good and stuff? How much does ping matter in Quake Champions versus other Quakes?
Well, Quake Champions has a very good net code, you know. So when you play with pin 80, pin 100, the feeling is not bad, you know. I think the feeling is like, I think it's more. I'm not sure about how they developed it, but it's more client oriented, like you know, when you shot there and the model is there, you hit. So this is allowing them to do that global qualifiers that I can play against Argentinian player with ping 120.
That's cool.
Feels good. So of course I would prefer to go to a LAN qualifier because, you know, the experience and the incentive of winning a online qualifier and the life experience you have coming there and seeing all the people, and well, this has no price, no, but it's pretty very good. I mean, Quake Champions regarding the net code. So it's fine for me to play online now with the COVID situation and everything. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I was surprised about it.
At the end of this interview, do you have any final message, or do you want to thank anyone or shout anyone out from the old school?
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, again, I want to thank you, Thorin, for giving me the opportunity to express myself and to have the possibility to apologize for the Quake community and to explain what really happened on that time. And I want to thank Sparty, Garpy, Cypher, Achilles, and all my friends that supported me during that hard times when I did this mistake and when all the people was just pointing at me. And yeah, I will say that I hope that this interview and this makes a before and after, and they allow me to play and allow me to use the nickname and just forget that everyone has made a mistake in their lives. So I think it's very good to recognize it and apologize when I had the opportunity, even if it's 15 years ago. So yeah, thanks to all the Spanish community that supported me during these years and saying that, well, we did the best we can during our glory times regarding Dreams and Magic, and we tried and we sacrificed a lot. And well, thanks to all that supported me and my friends and my wife and I hope that Quake community upset my apologize and we can move on.
Yeah, gracias.
De nada.
This video was kindly supported by Ahmed Hadjou, Matt Pugnatio Rajcula, Travis Goff, Adam Ochs, Animosity, Butt Pounder 420, Hades, Jensen Goh, Joseph Ginsburg, Kovacevic, Tobias Bernasconi, Toucan, William Peyton Lacey, Zumba, Zyrathenia, and as always, special thanks goes out to Jerky's Minion. Do you want to suggest a topic or a guest for my content? Want to ask me a question in my monthly AMA? Do you want teasers? Find out who the upcoming guests are? Maybe you want to take part in a lengthy donator discussion with me? Well, if so, put your money where your mouth is and join the Skilluminati today, where? Via the Patreon link in the description box.